Indranil. Welcome back to our YouTube channel Webskitters Academy. Thanks for showing love in our previous series System Hacking. Oh, if you have missed it, please click on the I button and please go through it. From today, we'll start a new series on Wi-Fi hacking, where we'll go through the different types of attacks of Wi-Fi which can be performed by the hackers and how we can secure our Wi-Fi from the hacker. So we'll go through that. Nowadays, while everything is going digitally, there to be a part of it, you need Wi-Fi. Without internet, without Wi-Fi, we can't avail the different beautiful development of the technologies like paying online or high-speed internet to access the whole world, to access the whole different informations going across the world. So we need Wi-Fi. In this generation or in the upcoming generation, we need internet, we need Wi-Fi. So there, it is difficult to always be in a straight line just to use the Wi-Fi, because while you are not taking any kind of security steps towards your Wi-Fi, then obviously the hackers will penetrate in your machine, will steal your credentials, and which I think you don't want to share. So we'll see different types of attacks over there, that how the hackers can perform different types of attacks on the routers, on the Wi-Fi, how they normally used to steal the credentials, and also how we can secure it. In this video, we'll see WPA handshake, and also the brute force to steal the credentials of the Wi-Fi routers, and also we'll see another way like the Pixie attacks again to steal the credentials of the Wi-Fi. So here we go with our one of the most prominent students, Sampat Banerjee.
Hello guys, so today we'll learn about Wi-Fi or router hacking. So we need to know a few things about router. In the router, the encryption is basically nowadays WPA2 and authentication of it is PSK. This is the most common combination of router nowadays, WPA to PSK, and we'll learn how to crack this encryption and find out the password of the router and get all the details of it. So let's see how we can do it. So at first, we'll start by putting our USB Wi-Fi adapter. This is our alpha Wi-Fi adapter in monitor mode. So for that, we're going to write airmon ng and see that what it gives the result. Here you can see it is given the interface WLAN 0, and we can see the chipset of it. This is the chipset of the alpha Wi-Fi adapter. So we need to make this interface of the Wi-Fi adapter go to monitor mode. So for that, we're going to write airmon ng start WLAN 0. We can see it has gone to monitor mode. So let's check again. Here you can see the interface has gone to WLAN 0 mode, which means the Wi-Fi adapter has gone to monitor mode. So now we can start our hacking process. So you need to check which access points are near us and choose one to target. So in this hypothetical scenario, I'm basically hacking the router I have set up. So let's go for it. We need to find which routers are running around us. So for that, we need to use AeroDump engine, which is we're going to use it in a very basic state, basic form, and we're going to use a single parameter and that name of the monitor interface. So we're going to write AeroDump ng WLAN 0 mon. So here we can see that a lot of amount of APs or routers are showing around me. So here we can see the Omnitor Wi-Fi, which is the router we're going to hack right now, has the strongest power because it is nearest to us. We can see the channel, we can see the encryption, we can see the cipher, and authentication of it. We can also even see the ESS ID or the name of the router along with the MAC address at the front. So we're going to select this. We need to make a text file so that we can remember the MAC address and the ESS ID and the channel number. So we're going to make a new file, name it Wi-Fi details. So in this Wi-Fi details, we're going to just simply write the basis ID, which is the MAC address, and we just record it first. So at first write the MAC address of the router we're going to hack, which is the BSS ID, and we're also going to write the ESS ID of it, the Wi-Fi name, so that we can remember it, and also write the channel name also, because it will be very necessary later words. So let's do it. This is a very important phase of information gathering. So after this, we're going to move on to hacking this Wi-Fi router. So let's start. So we have this information. So we'll be able to use Ep-6 to target that AP and its connected client specifically. So while doing this, we're also going to specify additional parameters also. And we're going to write there's also an output file of it. In between the captured frames, we're going to find out the Wi-Fi password of the router. So we're basically looking to capture specifically a WPA to PSK authentication handshake between a client and the router, and so that we can brute force it later using a word list. So let's do it. So for that, we're going to use aerodump-ng. We're going to use some few parameters. The channel number, we need to give the channel number, which is 2. We need to give the BSS ID, the MAC address of the router basically. So let's copy paste this, and we need to give the file name where the captured file will show. So I'm going to name it just capture, and after that the interface name, which is 9901, and let's hit it. Let's start the run process. So here we can see that my Wi-Fi adapter is basically intensively scanning this router only, which is the Omnitor Wi-Fi or the router of my home. So it is essentially scanning only one router, and we can see the below part that few connected clients has, we can identify those things. So here we can see that only 2 clients are connected to the router we're going to hack. So our main target is to basically get WPA to PSK authentication handshake. If there are more clients connected to the system, so it will be easier, because a few clients will maybe connect, reconnect, and during those part we'll find out the authentication handshake, will capture it. But as there are really less amount of clients, the probability of any client getting disconnected and reconnecting again is very low. And if a client doesn't reconnect, we won't get the WPA to PSK handshake, authentication handshake. We won't get it. So we need to speed up the process. So if you have a network adapter which supports packet injection, as I have told earlier, it needs packet injection. So if it supports packet injection, we can speed up the process. We can de-authenticate the connected devices in the router we're going to hack. We can de-authenticate those devices, and when those devices reconnect automatically, we'll find out our WPA to PSK handshake. So let's go for it. So for that, we're going to use AirPlay-ng. So we're going to write AirPlay-ng. We're going to use the switch -0, which basically tells the Ep-6 how many the authentication packets to broadcast from the AP. So in theory, what happens is basically that all clients connected to the AP or the router should receive this de-authentication broadcasts. It will de-authenticate from the routers, and when the de-authentication broadcast stops, it will reconnect again. So in this example, we're going to send 10. So it should be enough to force the authentication and force the handshake to happen upon re-authentication. So let's do it. After that, we're going to use the -A switch, the SSID of the AP. So let's go for it. And after that we're going to use our interface name, which is 990 mod. So let's hit it. We need to use a sudo first. So here you can see that the authentication code is being sent and this is broadcasted, and the devices has deauthenticated or disconnected from our router. And here we can see it has reconnected again, so we have the WPA handshake, and this is our end code. So we basically have the handshake captured, and the only step left for us is to crack this capture file. And we need to crack this capture file using brute forcing methods. We need a very powerful word list, so let's do it. So we can find our capture file in our home directory, or the directory we have started the aerodump process. So here you can see that there is a capture -01.cap, and over here we need to crack this file using brute force. So this is the one. Also, there's a matter of note, if you cannot capture the handshake right away, it might be a good idea to wait a few minutes. So let's see. We need to crack this capture file first, and when we crack this capture file using brute forcing methods, we'll have our password, router password. So let's see how it will happen. So we're going to use aircrack. So aircrack is a tool for brute forcing the capture files we have collected from our aerodump. So we're using aircrack. So let's see. The syntax we'll use is aircrack ng. We need to give the file name and the directory, the capture file, home/omnitor/capture01.cap, and we need to give a word list, /home/omnitor/desktop/word list. So I've created this word list before. There are few different passwords I have given in the word list, and when we hit enter, we can see we have cracked the password darkness 3. Okay, now we need to understand that this process doesn't happen this fast, because I have given just 2 to 3 password, and as I knew the password of my router, I give the actual password, and along with I gave 2 and 3 different passwords. So it didn't even take it will be 0 seconds to crack the password. But in real life scenario, it won't be easy like this. It won't be fast like this. We'll need to use millions and thousands of different word lists, different passwords to crack, and it will take more than 2 to 3 hours to brute force the whole thing. So for the sake of example, we have used this word list. This is a concise word list, and we have found our password. So here we can see how we can get the password using WPA PA2 PSK handshake. So what if in real life scenario you don't have that much amount of time? You don't have the luxury of waiting for 2 to 3 hours to crack the passwords of a router. We need a different way. And fortunately there is a way we can crack the password without waiting for 2 to 3 hours, without getting any kind of WPA to PSK handshake. We don't need to do anything. Now we need to understand about a flaw in today's router. In today's router, there is a very common thing nowadays which is known as WPS. Okay, WPS, we turn it on, and the WPS basically shares a key between your client device and the router, and when the key is shared mutually, it connects. So this is a very vulnerable process, and the hackers can get through this very easily. There is a very infamous attack which is known as WPS pixie dust attack, and this will crack any router which has WPS enabled. It will crack it within a matter of seconds. So let's see how it works. So at first we're going to run Wi-Fi. It's a very useful tool for different kinds of Wi-Fi hacking. So here we can see that different type of routers are showing. It's scanning using the alpha adapter. and it's showing all of the nearby routers and APs. So we're going to hack Omnitor Wi-Fi again. We need to be very responsible about which Wi-Fi and router we hack, because it's a very powerful process. We need to be ethical about it. So let's go for it. I have closed the scanning, and here it says the select targets separated by commas, dashes or all. So we're going to use the first name only. So which is the Omnitor Wi-Fi. You can see the power is 57 dB and it has WPS enabled, so it's a very juicy target for hackers. So let's go for it. So we're going to write number 1. So it says starting attacks against Omnitor Wi-Fi, and within a matter of seconds it has cracked the PSK password and the WPS pin. Using the WPS fixie attack, we can see over there. It has used the WPS fixie attack. It has taken 4 minutes 56 seconds, and it has cracked the WPS pin and the PSK, which is basically the router's password basically. So as we have seen that how hackers can basically get to your Wi-Fi's router password, and the very scary thing is that if the router has the password of your router, he or she may connect to the router, and once that person has connected to the router, so then he or she will be able to use any type of attacks against you. They will be in your network, and once anyone is in your network, is in your Wi-Fi network or LAN network, that person has a lot amount of power to do any sort of attacks against your devices. So as a matter of security, we must know to use very difficult passwords. We need to use passwords which will not be very common to find it in word list. We need to change it constantly within a few months or so that even if the password gets leaked, even if the password gets compromised, we can always count on our discretion that we have already changed the password to something new. And for the WPS pixie dust attack, we need to always remember to never turn on WPS enable always. Only when you need it, turn on the WPS, connect to it, and when the need has been completed, just turn the WPS off. This is the only way you can be safe against WPS pixie dust attack. As you have seen, this is very fast and simple to use WPS pixie dust attack. So this is for today. For the next day, we'll see how we're going to scan different type of HTTP and HTTPS networks. We're going to see different traffics in our Wireshark, which we'll be covering next class. So thank you for today.
Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button to get informations on cybersecurity. In the next video, we'll see the tools Wireshark. I think many of the ethical hackers know about this tool. So we'll see live demo of the Wireshark and the Ether cap as well. They are standing right now in the queue. They will come in the next video. So there we'll see the credential harvesting using the Wireshark and also with the Ether cap as well. So thanks for watching the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow our channel, and keep sharing with your friends and family, because this is for the society. And thanks for watching.